Hello friends, welcome back. This is full stack development video series and we are building the online course enrollment application, and in this video I'll show you how we are going to build the rest of the web APIs that is used for this beautiful website. So I'll be covering all the remaining endpoints that is required to build this website, and one by one we will see. So without delay, come let's get started. Alright, so first let's take a look at the website so that you know how many endpoints are used here. So this is the deployed version, the complete version of the endpoints. We have contact controller, we have one endpoint, and then we have a course controller, we have several endpoints. We have another controller, course category, enrollment, review, user profile, video requests. So a lot of controllers, right? We already saw a few endpoints that are all related to the get, and then we also saw the complete video request CRUD operation. Right, so in this video I'm going to cover the rest of the endpoints, and then using that actually this whole website is built. Alright, so let's talk about all of these things, right? So there are several endpoints that we just saw, and these endpoints are used in this website. So for example, if I go to list of course, it will show me all the list of course that I can edit, delete, view, or even upload the thumbnail. Thumbnail is the one that you see all of these things, right? So if I, for example, if I go view, this is the thumbnail that I have uploaded. This is the course, right? I can edit this course. So basically if I go to course, if I do an edit, it opens up a nice reactive form. It's a complicated reactive form basically, but very easy to implement. So I can have all of these things, remove the session. This is how I post the course. I can create a new course, and I can ask you to request a video that you are interested in. You can select these things. This is what we saw, right? The endpoints that we saw, but this is the UI. I can also go and see the others, whoever has posted their videos. I can edit that. I can go to update profile. I can update my biographic information as an instructor. I can also update my picture. I can go to all courses, see all of these things. For example, if I go here, I can enroll. As long as I'm signed in, I can enroll. If I have already enrolled, it says already enrolled. For example, I can also see my enrollment. See all of these things. This is all my enrollment. Like if you log in, you will see all of these things for yourself. If I go to categories, all of these things comes right. So many functionalities. And literally, if you go to a course, for example, if I go to a course, you can review. You can submit a review as long as you feel whatever you want to submit, you can submit a review. Let's take a look at the review section also. You see this already, there was a review here. Probably I was just testing it out. So I can submit a review, the reviews will come here. There's a star here, right? You can review it, rating based on what you choose here. So many things are happening. It's all because of these endpoints. So we're going to see all of the missing endpoints, and that will conclude the web API part, and then I will release the complete full course of the web API. Alright, so now let's get into the coding. Now before that, what we are going to do is, the existing code is here under the Lens Smart Coding repository. If you go to online course API repository, you will see these branches. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to create another branch. I will probably name that as the last episode number. I'm going to keep that as the final one, and then merge that main code into the main branch. So the main branch code, as soon as you come here, if you take the code, you will get the complete repository. Okay, so that is what you're going to do, and I will appreciate if you code side by side for better learning. Okay, so now let's open up this. Let's little bit enhance. So if you look at this, there are only few controllers and few endpoints. We're going to add more stuff here. So let's start from back. Those who are new, I wish you go and read, or those who are new to this video, if you want to go take a look at the previous video, feel free to go and take a look. But if you're not, it's okay. This also will cover the complete create, read, update, patch, all of the endpoints here. So we have this layered architecture, and what we are going to do is, we're going to start from the back. Okay, so before we get into any of this implementation of the missing part, okay, so I'm going to show you what I did in meanwhile. So if you go to this database SQL, right? This is where we stopped, and I added one column in one of the table. And what I did is, actually I did this. So I added a column called profile picture URL. Okay, so I added a profile picture URL column under the user profile table. So for that, alter table, table name, add the column data type, default value is null. The reason I put this alter instead of keeping this table name, like the new column name in this table, because whoever has already executed this, they just need to execute this next, so that it will be automatically added. Like appending, as we develop, some requirement came, we modified the existing database schema. That's why we are doing this way. Similarly, I also added another column. Let's say what I added. I added a column called thumbnail for the course table, and default value was null. Okay, so this will have the URL of the each course thumbnail. That's the idea. So I added this, which means this is there in my latest database. Okay, so for good. Now what we are going to do is, we are going to bring up the missing part. So let's go to this online course repository. Let's go to this implementation. Here right now, this repository has only two methods dealing with just the get endpoints, right? What we are going to do is, to complete the requirement, I need to add these many things. Basically, I'm going to have a method that adds the course, updates the course, delete, and then passing a course ID, I wanted to get all the course details. Okay, and then there should be a way to remove a particular session of a course. That's why the session details is basically will have all of these session related information. Okay, because the course will have the course main content and this number of sessions, right? Now if we start with a series of video, one course is video, but that course has multiple videos, right? So that's called session. Now another method that brings us a list of instructor information from the instructor table. And then last one is manually update the thumbnail URL of the course table using this method. Now if I go to this implementation class, which is this, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to modify this. Okay, so let's see what I did. So I'm going to first copy the model and paste it here. Okay, so these are the latest model, and here itself we can see, as I copy paste, it will see what I modified. If I double click this, or if I say, you can see this changes, right, from the old code to the new code. Like as I do lively, it will show you the changes in the kit. So let's see what changes I did compared to what you have currently. So if you look at this, under the user model, I added these two properties, nothing else. If I go to course model, I added the whole instructor model class, and I also changed this session to be a required one. Added two more properties under the course model and some more properties here. So it's all like extra properties. Similarly, this is itself is a new class I added up for the enrollment purpose. And then contact message. So basically from the website you can submit a contact information, and then it will come and save it in the table. For that reason I did this. Okay, now this is good. What we do, let's go to Solution Explorer, go to the course repository. Here I'm going to implement the course repository. So I'm going to copy the whole stuff from the developed code and paste it here. This will satisfy all of these things, right? So let's see what one by one. Okay, so everything looks good. The thumbnail is not present. Let's see why. So thumbnail, okay, so thumbnail is the one that we added recently. If you remember, let's go to, you see this is the new one that we added, right? So we need to update the entities as well, which is here. So in order to update the entities, all what you have to do is you do these two in your database, and then you follow this to regenerate the entities. Okay, or you can take the entities from the code that I'm giving, which is equivalent, because our main idea is to understand the whole complete end-to-end endpoints. So if you want to do by yourself, follow my previous video. in this whole course video itself, I have explained how to generate the entities, so you can use this one, generate entities. So let's imagine we are generating the entities, so it will be like this, which I'm doing it. You see this, only these two got updated because these two are the only thing which we updated, right? If you look at this, the only thing that I updated is under entities, I added this property, and here I added this property. Okay, great. Now let's go to the context. So context also should have been updated. So let's see what the context was updated. So the context, after we do this, the update in the context is, again, it's the same thing. So under this table, the new property was added, and so let's add one more thing for the course. So let's say if I go to course, here is the one. So let's go to the context. Let's search for course here. Okay, so here only we added that extra thumbnail dot see thumbnail. So we added this. Okay, so this is the extra one that I added. Okay, so looks good. So if you look at this one more time, it was a simple change, so I did it manually. Okay, you can actually regenerate after you update a database. So this is the one change, this is another change. So for good. Okay, so now if I go to this repository, this error went. This is good. Okay, so let's see one by one. Add course, we are passing the course. We go to database context dot courses dot add async. So this is the table dot add async, means you will be passing a course entity, then it will automatically add. After that, call the save changes, it will create a record in the table. Similarly for update, use the update, pass the course. Remember, when you pass the course here, the key, which is the course ID, should have value. If not, this update will fail because it don't know how to update. Same thing, save changes will update the record. Delete, we will first call this method, which is here, to find out whether the course exists. If it is not null, we will use the remove keyword, pass the course, it will delete the record. Okay, we already saw how to use the include. So course has the session details, so we are saying include session details. So it's like a graph. We use the course table and the session detail table. We try to find the course, we return the course. Similarly for session removal, go to the table, remove, pass the session detail object. It will have the session ID, so it knows how to track and delete that particular record. For get all instructor, same thing, simple thing, go to table dot to list, just get everything. Okay, we are going to use this in the in one of the main UI to load the instructor name in the drop down. Okay, now for the course thumbnail, same thing, find the course. If the course is present, update the thumbnail property, save it. If it is not present, we're not going to do anything. So this is good. Okay, so now because the repository is implemented, we have to go to the next step, which is the service. Again, service has only these two. We need to implement the missing part so that the controller will be able to call these services. So these are the missing part, right? So from service only, we will be calling the repository. So we are bringing up add, update, delete, get instructor, and get update course thumbnail. Now we have to implement these things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to implement these things so that it will be easy and then it's quick to show because we have done this already. So I have brought up all the code here. Let's go one by one. Okay, so we already know get, these two are easy. Now add course, right? Okay, so when we go and so when we receive this one in the controller, this is the model. So model means basically it's a model. So basically it's a custom model. We receive like this. Okay, so which is inheriting the course model. Course model will have all of these things, right? So we receive this. So what we are going to do is, because this model is not compatible with the database table, we are going to do the mapping. So we receive this, but we convert into the course entity, map the course model to the course entity. So after we map this, okay, we are going to pass it to the add one. That's it. Now everything will be taken care. Okay, so that is what the idea is. So we are going to assume we will be getting the session. If we don't get session, it will be empty one. So we're just converting here. Similarly for update, we get the course model, we receive the data of an existing course. If it is not there, we throw exception. Basically we can handle this in a different way, in a very good way, which I will show you in the later video. But let's say we got the data, then we just update every single property of the course, and then here what we are going to do is, see, we are handling the session detail updates. So I've given all the comments. So basically what we're doing, we are trying to fetch the existing session and the new session. This line is going to take all the existing session IDs of a given course. This is the new one coming up. So when you are updating, either you will send the same thing, or you might be deleting something. Like for example, so let's take an example, right? So for example, if I go and try to edit this, so this is what the update we are referring to. So for example, let's say this one has already 3 sessions, right? So this session will have each of a session ID. So what if I add a new session and delete the existing one of the session? So this kind of combination can easily occur. So when this kind of combination occurs, what we are trying to do here, logic is, we take the existing one from the database, we take the new one coming out from the UI. So here what will happen is, the incoming one will have IDs and not have an ID. If it has an ID, which means it is there in the table, like we need to go through the update. If something that is coming to our side here on the API side which doesn't have ID, which means they are newly added items. So here this logic, what it is doing is, we are going to update or add here. Okay, so after we remove the unnecessary sessions, see, this removes the session from the database. So whatever, like for example 1 2 3 ID is there, if the incoming is only 1 2, which means the third one will be removed in this logic, whichever is not present in the incoming but present in the database. Okay, now here this logic, what it will do is, it will actually either add a new one or update the existing one. Okay, so that is what this is doing. And then remaining is all same. Delete is like to call the delete, call the inspector to get the inspector. We're also using the auto mapper here, right? That's it. This is done. Service is done. So let's quickly go and implement the endpoint here, which is course controller. Okay, so I came to the controller here and I'm going to add the missing piece here. Okay, so let's go through what and all the missing piece that we added. So we added a new endpoint with an HTTP get of ID. So we will name that as get course by ID, which is receiving an ID. So it will call the service, get the details, and if it is not there, it will produce a 404. If it is there, it is going to produce a 200. Okay. Similarly, if you also see, this is like anonymous. Anyone can use this get because there's no code operation is happening, right? It's just a read. This is fine. Now, coming back to this one. Okay, so coming back to this one is the add. Who can add? Only admin can add. So I will tell you how to add the admin service here. So basically here what we're doing is, we are going to make this as HTTP post and make an authorized attribute, which means only the logged in user who is going to be admin can access this. But right now, as you see, it doesn't have any admin privilege. Whoever is authorized to log in, they'll be able to use this. I'm going to show you in a minute how to restrict that. Okay, so basically we are receiving the course model. It is from the body. That's why we decorate this as from body. So this model will be received and we are checking everything is good. If it is not good, we send a bad request, which is 400 bad request. Okay, and then we pass it to the servers. We return a okay response. We can also return actually the same model back. That is also okay. When you return back this one, the updated model will have the ID of the course that was created. Good. Similarly for update, we call an HTTP put for update, which is also having an ID in the route, and then same thing. So we will have an ID in the route plus content coming in the body. We will do the same check. Finally, we call the body like the update, and then we send back the response whatever we update. And in this case, we're sending a no content because we just updated it. We can either send a 200 OK, or we can also send no content. No content will produce 204 status code. Okay, so you remember 204 status code is also a valid one for an update, where we just saying that it is updated, that's it, done. Similarly for delete, we use the http delete. The route will have the ID property. We receive the ID. It is also authorized. Only authorized person can actually delete a course. Okay, and then we call the delete. We return a no content. Okay, similarly, this is just a get endpoint, so no authorized attribute is there. It is returning the list of instructor. Now, let's say you logged in, I logged in. I created the course. Can I allow you to delete the course? Because you just logged in, right? As long as you logged in, you should be able to delete this course. What will happen to my project? Gone. How do I restrict that? There is something that I can do to prevent this happening. So what I'm going to do is, under common, I'm going to add an attribute. Okay, so I'm going to add an attribute called admin role attribute. So under common, I'm going to add, it's not a class, it's actually not a class, it's basically an item of an item. So I'm going to add this class. Okay, so after I add this class, what I'm going to do is, so this class admin role attribute is a class that inherits attribute and I authorization filter. Okay, so I authorization filter have a method called on authorization. We need to implement this. So here what we are doing is, we are injecting the iUserClaim service. iUserClaim is already present here. You can see this. Okay, so this will read the incoming bearer token and be able to get the user roles in the bearer token. Okay, so once we have the claims, like we call the user roles to get the roles. If the role is having admin, which is myself, right? I alone have admin for now, but because I add this check, and if it is not an admin, I will send a 403 status code. So for that, what you should use is, you can use this admin role attribute, which means I copy this admin role and then go to this course here. In this case, it is going to be add course. So I will come here, admin role. If I add this admin role attribute here in all of these places, what will happen? Except me, nobody will be able to delete, update, add a course. That's the one of the security mechanism I'm implementing. That's why even if you go to today's deployed website and try to log in and then use this bearer token to try to call the delete endpoint, which is already present, you'll be restricted. Okay, because you cannot delete whatever I created. I don't want you to delete because I control what I created. That's one of the beauty, right? The security mechanism come into picture. So you should know how to do all of those things. So now we completed this endpoint, like all of these endpoints. Now similarly, there are other controllers that I have, like I'm going to show you quickly. So for example, the other controller is, there is a controller called contact controller. Okay, so what this contact controller is doing, it is doing nothing. It is going to use the email notification service which I added, and then it is going to send an email to me. As like, for example, if you go to contact us, this is done in reactive forms, which we will see in the Angular course. But if you add up everything, and then do a send message, basically that will call this endpoint. It will send me an email immediately. So if you try posting something, like if you have any questions, try to do it. I will get a notification and I will definitely respond to you. Okay, so try that out. Let's see if this works. Okay, similarly, we have other controllers called review controller. Again, review controller is again same. It has its own review service. For example, it has its own review service. It has its own review repository. Look at this review service, review repository. it is doing the same thing whatever we implemented earlier. Okay, so I have these as a reference for you to understand how the review is working, how stars are marked, all of those things, right? Now, so we have completed review. Enrollment is again same, and more enrollment also is like you have to be logged in, and then if you're trying to enroll from the website, it will add you as an enrolled user. We already saw this. So if I go to all course, everything is showing up. Let's say I go here, I try to enroll, see enrollment successful. If I try to enroll again, enrollment failed. I can actually go to my enrollment and see the newly added enrollment here. 4 items were there. Initially we saw in the video it was only 3, right? So I can see my own enrollment. So basically, you can use all of these things to support all of these things in the UI. You need these many endpoints. So long story short, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the whole source code of this web API project, but we have seen whatever is required for us. Okay, there's one thing that I will give you in the video description of how to implement the Azure service to upload an image to the Azure service. Okay, because we have a controller here. For example, we have a controller here called user profile controller. Basically, user profile controller is calling the blob service to upload an image. Because I'm uploading all of this image over there, you will be able to see the images coming up here. Okay, so you're like, for example, if you go to update profile, I'm able to upload an image. So I'm able to upload an image. That's why the image is coming here, and that image will come here. If you log in and you upload your image will come here. Okay, so all of the supported endpoints I'm going to give you here. Everything is going to be here. You don't need to worry about everything. So this brings up the end of our full web API development course. I'm going to club all of this video into one video just for the full course of web API, and you can watch everything and redo everything and see how to build such a beautiful website. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. Share your thoughts with me. If you like this video, do subscribe, share this with your friends. If you have any questions or comments, happy to help you. Put it in the comment section, and I will see you in a bunch of videos of these things developed in the Angular part. So I'll see you soon, guys. Take care. Bye bye. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more tech tutorials. And don't forget to hit the bell icon to get notified when we post new videos. If you have any questions or suggestions, leave them in the comments below. Happy coding!